Hello and welcome, our beloved viewers, to our today's news English edition. As usual, we begin tonight's news with the major and top highlights. Let's follow. The Ministry of Economy meets the executives of Moroccan institutions, Djibouti Cooperation, and Morocco. And on the international scene, European Union and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Saudi Crown Prince begins a European tour with a visit to Greece. Those were our major top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. As part of his official visit to Morocco in Rabat, the Minister of Economy and Finance in charge of Industry, Mr. Ilyas Musa Dawale, led an important delegation, including the Secretary of State in charge of Investment and Private Sector Development, Head of the Executive Secretary of the State, left-led General Manager of the Partial Guarantee Fund of Djibouti Credits, the Director General of the National Institute of Statistics of Djibouti, and the Director of Legal Affairs. The Ambassador of Djibouti in Morocco, Mr. Doher, accompanied the Djiboutian delegation during these talks. The Djibouti delegation had a meeting with the National Company of Guarantee and Financing of the Enterprise known in Tomioklom, whose mission aimed to facilitate access to financing for business, stimulate investment, and promote entrepreneurship on a large scale. Discussions focused on ways and means to meet the strategic partnership between the two countries and, in particular, the two guarantee funds to exchange their experience. It should be recalled that the limited company owned by the Moroccan state, Tomioklom, capitalizes on its historical achievements as the Central Guarantee Fund (SSG) to better contribute to the removal of obstacles to access financing for SMEs. During its second day of official visit at the invitation of the Ministry of Economy and Finance of the Kingdom of Morocco, the Djiboutian delegation led by the Minister of Economy and Finance in charge of Industry, Mr. Ilyas Musa Dawale, was received by the President of the General Confederation of Moroccan Enterprises, Mr. Shakib Ali, to discuss ways and means to strengthen the partnership between the two countries. Through the voice of Mrs. Safia Mohammed Ali Gadir, there was a presentation of economic opportunities to the Moroccan employers, as among others, the fixed parity of our currency since 1948 with the US dollar, high-end tourism and agribusiness. The CGEM is the voice of the private sector in Morocco. Created in 1947, it represents more than 90,000 direct and affiliated members, 95% of which are SMEs. It has established itself as the official representatives of the private sector with public authorities, social partners, and institutions. Two parties. A ceremony to hand over kits to UNFD's functional training workshops by the TICA agency took place today at the headquarters of the National Union of Djiboutian Women. The Turkish Cooperation and Development Agency granted a donation consisting of kitchen equipment kits intended to strengthen the quality of functional training of the kitchen section by UNFD. The event was chaired by the Secretary General of the UNFD, Mrs. Fatuma Musa Abdi, the coordinator of the TICA agency, Mr. Mustafa Bhutan, and the women parliamentarians who are committed to supporting projects aimed at the economic empowerment of Djiboutian women. The cooking workshop of the National Union of Djiboutian Women trains each year several dozen girls who are not in school or who are not in school in the fields of cooking and sewing. At the end of the ceremony, which ended with a guided visit to the kitchen training room of the UNFD, the coordinator of the Turkish Agency for Cooperation and Development congratulated the dynamism of Djiboutian women who are experiencing a considerable growth in all the field. The breakthrough of Djiboutian women in the political and social spheres is a victory to be welcomed. The Director General of the Academy of Industrial Science and Technology received this morning at the headquarters of the Academy the General Manager of Gold in Africa, Djibouti, At the beginning of this visit, Mr. Adnan Hantoush, who was leading an important delegation of the company, visited the facilities of the academy, in particular the various laboratories, where he received additional clarifications from the Director General of the Academy of Industrial Science and Technologies. As part of the Academy's vision to create partnership and strengthen complementary relationships with different organizations and companies, the Director General of the Academy and the Director General of Golden Africa signed a joint cooperation agreement aimed at creating quality employment opportunities for young Djiboutians, especially graduates of the Academy, and advancing sustainable development in Djibouti. As part of the pilot project entitled DClick, Train Yourself to Digital, the launch of micro enterprises in the context of youth entrepreneurship was held this morning at the Technical School of Gabot. This activity is part of the device of support towards the professional integration of young beneficiaries of the project DClick in Djibouti in the incubation of micro enterprises. 100 young women and men have been trained at the Technical High School of Gabon in the digital professionals through the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training in partnership with the International Organization of the Francophonie. The objective, according to the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, is to strengthen the individual professional digital skills of youth and women to improve their qualifications and access to employment. The meeting with these young entrepreneurs was mainly aimed at presenting digital talents, including those trained under DClick, to potential recruits and support structures for internship in the digital field, and to promote more broadly the professional opportunities in the digital sector. The lunch was marked by the presence of Inspector General Mr. Mahdi Omar Farah, the principal of the Technical High School of Gabod, and the delegational administrative leaders of the school. The Ambassador Extraordinary and Parliamentary of the Republic of Djibouti to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Excellency Mr. Dayadin Saeed Ba Makrama, was received in audience on July 26 by His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Saud, Vice Governor of the Riyadh capital city. The Ambassador of Djibouti discussed with the Prince several issues of common interest, including the situation of Djibouti nationals residing in the Riyadh region. The Ambassador also congratulated the Prince for the major projects carried out in the city and the region of Riyadh. The high seas stuck Umar Musa the Calais back in Djibouti after escorting the vessel MV Apple Vanda, which left the harbor of Djibouti on Monday. This operation is of about 72 hours, consisting in escorting an assistant in case of need until the start of the Red Sea near the Bab al-Mandab Strait. The tug Umar Musa Dankali was in company of the new patrol boat Ali Mohammed Humad of the Djibouti National Navy. The operation was successfully completed and the teams returned home safely. After escorting the vessel Nevada for 3 years and the crew of the tug anchored at the port of Djibouti, upon their arrival, they were welcomed by the commander of Djibouti ports, Mohammed Musa. In his speech, the pilot of the tug, Mr. Ashraf Saeed, expressed his satisfaction with the work done by the crew to assist and escort the ship to the end of the Djiboutian territorial waters. The sub-prefecture of the 2nd District, jointly with the commune of Abil Aus, started yesterday morning operations of destruction of illegal occupation installed at the edges of the public roads of Section 7 and Section 7 bis. The purpose of this operation was to show the occupation without title of the public domain is an offense, and that it's strictly forbidden to occupy in any form whatsoever in an illegal way. This operation of sensitization and control concerns at the legal occupants of the public domain, such as the traders having realized illegal exchanges, the illegal garages, the repair sellers of illegal trades, the illegal constructions, the alternate sellers, and etc. This large scale in the area illustrates the priority actions of the prefectural authorities who consider illegal of a particular gravity and actiness this disordered and anarchic constructions. Concerning the weather situation, the sky remains foggy over most of our country and especially in the capital where the sky is overcast and the risk of rain is not to be excluded. The services in charge of the management and sanitation of the city of Djibouti remain mobilized in the face of the risk of rain with cloudy weather this morning over the capital. According to the national weather forecast for this Wednesday, the development of thunderstorm causing showers are possible in the evening and night on the interior villages. Already since yesterday evening, rainfall have been reported in some areas, notably in Ali Sibih and Dekhil and the Torjoro region. In addition, during this summer period, the Meteorology Agency is warning the population about the prevalence of weather conditions that are very favorable to fires with low humidity, high temperatures, and moderate wind. Therefore, the precautions of use and the preventive measures remain current to avoid all risks. A heavy rain largely sprinkled this morning the city of Asajog. The heavy rainfall swept away the intense and sweltering heat of the hot July season in one full swoop. In the capital, the city of Ali Sibih, the Asajogs have seen the scorching heat greatly reduced. The authorities of the region do not complain about anything alarming. The air and atmosphere have become mild thanks to the regular rainfall. The city is immersed in a cool season weather. The water flows in the wadis in the alleys of the neighborhood have given the land a clean and pristine appearance. As part of the Olympic solidarity, the Djiboutian Handball Federation officially launched on Wednesday morning a training course in License D at the National Technical Center, CTN of the South Korea Federation. About 30 coaches will attend this course from 23 July to 30. The courses of this course, which takes place in the conference room of the CTN, are taught by an international expert who is assisted by the CTN of the Federation of Handball. The work of this course was launched by the president of the FDH in the presence of the director of sports, the Secretary General of Soccer Federation. The mobile team of customs of a brigade of Tajura chaired by Jilani Shihim seized an important quantity of qat of 16,000 kilograms and also 50 carton of drink which is illegally entering through the Ethiopian border with the collaboration of the force of the region Tajura. The Director General of the Diwan, Mr. Gulait Ahmed Yusuf, congratulated all the collaborators of the Tajura region force and the agents of the Diwan Tajura. To its torture, the prefect Hassan Dabali congratulated the Diwan team and encouraged them and a good continuation. In the international scene, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman began his first visit to European Union on Tuesday, going to Greece for a two-day official visit before a second stop in France. Mohammed bin Salman, known as MBS, is to discuss with the leaders of Greece and France the bilateral relations and the means to strengthen them in various fields. By this, our beloved viewers, we conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful night. Thank you again. Take care.